On March 8, 2014, 239 passengers and crew members boarded Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 MH370 from Kuala Lumpur, expecting a routine flight to Beijing. It was supposed to be a regular 6-hour journey, but within hours, the aircraft vanished from radar screens, leaving behind a cloud of mystery, fear, and heartbreak. How could a modern aircraft, equipped with sophisticated technology, simply disappear without a trace? The emotional toll on families waiting for their loved ones, only to realize that they might never see them again, remains etched into the collective memory of the world. What really happened to MH370, and why, after years of investigation, do we still not have clear answers? The vanishing. At 12:41 a.m. local time, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, heading toward Beijing Capital International Airport. The weather was clear, and communication with air traffic control was routine. But just 38 minutes into the flight, as the plane crossed into Vietnamese airspace, something bizarre occurred. The transponder that communicates the aircraft's location to air traffic controllers was suddenly switched off. The plane vanished from radar. It was not just the loss of radar contact that was alarming. Attempts to reach the cockpit via radio were met with silence. What could cause a plane to stop responding so suddenly? A technical failure? Hijacking? As search efforts began, no one knew that they were embarking on one of the most perplexing aviation mysteries in history. The immediate search. When MH370 disappeared, the immediate assumption was that it had crashed somewhere along its planned route. Search and rescue teams were quickly dispatched to the South China Sea, where the aircraft had last been seen on radar. But days turned into weeks, and no wreckage was found in the waters where everyone expected the plane to have gone down. Then, something even more mysterious was revealed. Satellite data showed that after the aircraft disappeared from radar, it had continued to fly for nearly 7 hours, turning westward, crossing the Malaysian peninsula, and heading into the southern Indian Ocean. As the search expanded into this remote region of the ocean, questions about the crew, the plane's systems, and the mental state of the pilots started to surface. Was this an act of sabotage, or had a catastrophic malfunction left the crew incapacitated while the plane flew on autopilot until it ran out of fuel? Unsolved theories. Over the years, multiple theories have emerged about what could have caused the disappearance of MH370, each more unsettling than the last. One theory is centered around Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, the pilot of the ill-fated flight. Investigators found that he had practiced flying a similar route to the southern Indian Ocean on a home flight simulator. Was this evidence of premeditation? Could Zahari have deliberately taken the plane off course, knowing it would disappear in one of the most remote regions of the world? Another theory involves the possibility of mechanical failure. Could a sudden depressurization or fire have incapacitated the crew, leaving the plane on autopilot? This ghost plane scenario, where everyone on board is unconscious as the plane continues to fly, is chilling, but it doesn't explain why the transponder was manually turned off. Then, there's the possibility of hijacking. Although no group ever claimed responsibility, could someone have taken control of the plane and forced it to fly off course? The lack of communication, even under duress, is hard to reconcile with this theory, but it's not entirely impossible. The search continues. For years, search teams combed the southern Indian Ocean, relying on satellite pings and oceanographic data to try to narrow down the plane's final resting place. Despite the largest and most expensive underwater search in aviation history, spanning 120,000 square kilometers, no trace of the plane was found for over a year. Then, in July 2015, a piece of the plane's wing, known as a flaperon, washed ashore on the island of Réunion, east of Madagascar. This discovery reignited the investigation, but also deepened the mystery. If debris had made it that far from the presumed crash site, the forces of the ocean had scattered the plane's wreckage far and wide, making the task of locating the rest of the aircraft seem nearly impossible. Further debris was found on other islands in the Indian Ocean, but none of it provided conclusive evidence about what exactly had happened during those final hours of MH370's flight. Unknown facts and discrepancies. While the mystery of MH370 remains largely unsolved, there are several lesser-known details that have come to light over the years. For example, it was revealed that the plane's satellite communication system was manually turned off, not due to a technical glitch or failure. This has led many to believe that whoever was controlling the aircraft had a deep understanding of its systems and knew how to avoid detection. Another intriguing fact is the way the aircraft made its turns after losing communication. The turns were described as sharp and deliberate, not consistent with an autopilot malfunction or random drifting. This suggests human intervention, but who could have been behind it and why? Some have questioned the initial handling of the investigation. It took 4 days for search efforts to shift to the southern Indian Ocean, based on satellite data that was available from the beginning. Could precious time have been lost in those first days, diminishing the chances of finding the wreckage? The human toll. Amidst all the technical investigations and conspiracy theories, it's crucial to remember the 239 people who were aboard MH370. These were ordinary people, families, business travelers, students, heading to Beijing for various reasons. Many were looking forward to reuniting with loved ones, only for their lives to be tragically cut short. The families of the passengers and crew have endured unimaginable suffering. The lack of closure has made the grief even harder to bear. For many, not knowing the fate of their loved ones is the worst part. Some families continue to hold out hope that answers will be found, while others have reluctantly accepted that they may never know the truth. In total, 239 souls were lost that day. 227 passengers and 12 crew members. No one survived. Their deaths represent not just a tragedy for their families, but a haunting mystery for the world. What do we really know? So, what do we know about the disappearance of MH370 after years of investigation? Frustratingly little. The plane's flight path into the Indian Ocean is confirmed and some debris has been recovered. But the actual cause of the incident, whether mechanical failure, pilot action, or something more sinister, remains unknown. Could there have been more that authorities could have done in the early days? Should technology have been more advanced to prevent such a disappearance? These questions linger, fueling the frustration and curiosity. In the end, the story of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is not just a tale of technology and aviation, it's a deeply human story. It's about the families left behind, the enduring hope for answers, and the unshakable mystery of how a plane can disappear in the modern world. A mystery that lingers. The disappearance of Malaysia Airlines. Flight 370 remains one of the greatest aviation mysteries of our time. Despite millions of dollars spent on searches and investigations, we are no closer to definitive answers than we were in the days following its disappearance. So, could we ever truly uncover the mystery of MH370? For now, all we have are theories, fragments of debris, and the enduring grief of those who lost loved ones. The world continues to search for answers, but the ocean keeps its secrets well.